Hello, welcome back to This House of Walls. My name is Ashley, and on this channel I love to share all things homeschooling, books, and anything else that I feel like sharing. Today on this channel is going to be homeschooling. That's why I'm here in this homeschool room. We are going to talk the Good and the Beautiful language arts curriculum. Now, I do have a flip through of both levels 2 and 7 and how I adjusted it for our secular family. So we tend to try to be more faith neutral, but still learning about religion, and especially how it has shaped the world and continues to shape the world. But we definitely don't want a only Christian view in our family. So I'm going to take a sip of coffee and let's talk about them. All right, so my kids are using level 2 and level 6. I did start them a level below what their grade level is because it's our first time using it. And the Good and the Beautiful tends to be kind of above grade level. And so I thought, you know what, we're not going to push it. Now, if you saw my video for how our September went in our homeschool, you will know that my 7th grader is no longer using the Good and the Beautiful. That is not because we didn't like it. It's because he was getting overstimulated from teacher intensive or group subjects. And this one is one of those that he does have to do work with me and a lot of like reading aloud of things and stuff like that. And it was just too much. He did finish the first 20 lessons of this, so I definitely wanted to include it in this video for how I thought it was. I do think I am going to start with level 6, just to kind of wrap it up and then move on. So like I said, we are a secular family. And so I did go through here the first 40 lessons, and I did things like this. I either covered up with a piece of paper things that do not fit our religious beliefs in our house, or if there was just something that I didn't want to include, we would do that. A lot of the poetry in here, we ended up kind of changing out for our own poetry, and that was great. We have a ton of poetry books, and so some I would hand to my son and be like, here, read over this, and then I want you to read it aloud to me. Ooh, it got really dark. Hang on, let me adjust the lighting. We'll see how that goes. There's like some big puffy clouds going over the sun every now and then, right in front of a big glass door, so we'll see. Now, what we do like about level 6 of the Good and the Beautiful starts the same every single time. So every time there are some dictation sentences that you can do with your child, and that is where you get your spelling words from. I think that's great, and especially for my 7th grader, he doesn't want to do like a real spelling curriculum. He was appreciating having actual words like that, but if he misspelled, we would write in the beginning of the book. Sorry, I took out all my paper clips that would help me get to pages faster. Okay, so here they are. So if he misspelled a word, we would put it here on this list. He would have to spell it 2 times correctly after that for it to get crossed off. And then we would move on. And so that's really nice, and I appreciate that. Then, after spelling and dictation, most lessons go into reading aloud. So he would sit here and read Elizabeth Kenny. She was a nurse in Australia during polio. We did really enjoy it. There are a couple things just in the writing portion of it that just were a little cringy, but overall enjoyed it. So beyond that, some days would be some grammar work that he would do on his own, and that was great. I will say, the grammar work in here, I don't know that he was learning anything new. it's review. It might be kind of gone over once, and that's kind of it. So I don't think that the grammar work in here is enough to really get a good understanding of grammar. So we definitely incorporated Fix-It Grammar, and I'm really glad. That really dives into grammar in a way that I think is more effective than The Good and the Beautiful. All right, something else that came with The Good and the Beautiful, and we did drop pretty quickly. I think it was just the beginning of there being too many things that were overstimulating for him. The Good and the Beautiful for levels 5 through 7 have geography and grammar cards. Now I can see if kids are really into this, I think it's great. There's all kinds of, so like this is an example of a grammar card. So there's the front and then the answer is on the back, and they need to be able to know the answer by heart, and then you can put the card away and move on. And then an example of a geography card. So here is learning all the countries in Asia. And so the answers are on the back. And so again, once he has it memorized, we put it down and move on. But like I said, we moved on pretty quickly. He did get through a pretty good chunk. So these are all the cards that he did get through, and I'll take it. All right, so now let's talk about level 2 for my 3rd grader. For level 2, my 3rd grader is loving it. He loves the there's a lot in each lesson, so there's a lot going on here. Just this lesson, you do booster cards, spelling, you watch a video, you do letter tiles, you do this little activity down here, and then he does independent work. Every lesson is laid out differently. So like this one, he's doing some activity on the app and using the letter tiles. Some he's cutting and pasting. Some he is just kind of like reading down a list of words to know and doing that. So like this was the following lesson. So you do booster cards, you read to your child about like an outline, and you write a story with them based on what outline you chose. And then you do rocket reading review. So you start at the bottom and go all the way up on these sentences. And then there is some independent work. So you can see definitely where we adjust it for our family. The poem that they read during this one is religiously based. And so we decide, we're just going to pick our own poem and kind of read it and have fun. And then obviously there was an activity under here. It had to go with the poem. You were filling in the blanks to help you memorize the poem. And then a little activity down here. Like I said, in the beginning of the lesson, you have the booster cards. So he is doing booster cards C, and these are all phonics-based or sight word-based cards, and he really likes it. So here's an example. Here's card 5, and this is about how OR can say and so we talked about it. He read the words. If he gets all the words done correctly the first time, he immediately gets to put a sticker on the front. If not, I'll put a little mark on it, and the following day we'll go back and see if he can get the words done then, and then he can put the sticker. And once he has the first card done, then we go to the second one. And again, if he can do all of this on the page, then he gets a sticker. These are pretty simple for him, but I will say it's been nice to review concepts that he knows how to read these words, but once they are kind of on their own and not in context of other words, it's really good practice. So once we have done the 2 booster cards for whatever that topic is, we pull out Wesley and the Wolves. It's okay. It's not my favorite. It's supposed to be like The Boy Who Cried Wolf. What we do like about it is that we read it together. So it clearly has where he reads a part and then I read a part, and then he reads a part and I read a part. And I will say that doing that makes it easier for me if there is some religious references, especially in my part, I can easily kind of edit that out as I am reading it. And then once he is done with the booster cards and Wesley and the Wolf story that goes with that booster card concept, then we pick up our nature reader. And again, there is a little short story in here that deals with whatever we were learning for the booster cards. Now, you will see I have tabs. Those are stories I think that we're just going to skip because they are so religiously based, but that's okay. That's the joy of homeschooling. We can make curriculum work for us. He really likes this. He is an animal lover and so loves these little short stories. So overall, we are really, really loving this. He loves all the different things that he uses with it. And so we will continue using this. Now, here's where I think people fall into an issue with this curriculum. This curriculum promises that it will hit on subjects that you aren't even thinking about including. So on the bottom, it says that it will hit phonics, writing, reading, grammar and punctuation, spelling, literature, geography, and art, all in this one book. And I think that's kind of misleading. Yes, all of those things are in here. Is it enough that your student will fully master those concepts just with this? No. I am really glad that before going into this, he had a really good kind of beginning concept of grammar. He had used the Well-Trained Mind level 1 and 2 before switching to this. And they really are amazing at giving definitions of like, here's what a noun is. And you just repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. The whole course book. This one, I feel it jumps around for sure. Is he learning from it? Yes. Is he picking up different concepts that he had not learned before? Yes. But it is not the most organized way. And I think that if you are only relying on this for language arts, that's where some troubles happen. So right away, I knew that the spelling, even though there is spelling included in here, it wasn't enough. I immediately, within the first week of school, bought a spelling curriculum, and he has been using that for spelling, along with the spelling in here. Does it have writing? Yeah, it does. Is it enough? Absolutely not. So we have a separate writing curriculum that we are doing. Reading. Yeah, there's reading in here. He does a ton of reading just with this. Again, is it enough? No, we have a separate reading book for it. So I think I've seen recently a lot of people leaving The Good and the Beautiful because it's not what they wanted it to be, and it jumps around too much and it's not comprehensive enough. And yeah, I can see why. But I think if you include other amazing things to go with this, then you are getting a comprehensive language arts curriculum. All right, so those are my thoughts on the first 20 lessons of The Good and the Beautiful. We're enjoying it. Obviously, we have put down level 6. That is for different reasons. Level 2, we're going to continue on and see where we get at the end of the year. As I'm filming this, tomorrow will be doing lesson 28, and you can see we are doing differently than what is here, but that's okay. So probably really soon, within the next week or so, I will be going through lessons 40 to 80 and kind of editing them to fit our family. So if you are interested in seeing how I do that, let me know. I can either do a video here or I can just share it on my stories on Instagram. So let me know. All right. I hope that all made sense and that came out and that I hit on everything that I was wanting to. On that note, I'm going to go finish my coffee and get ready for another day of homeschool. So if you like these types of videos, make sure to subscribe and like below, and I will be back for more soon.